Okay, everybody, here we go. I got to move my mic here. It's me, obviously. Why do I say that? Of course, it's me. No, it's that other guy. Look, you got to have a little fun once in a while, but maybe it is that other guy. So here we are, people. Thursday, January 18th, 2024. I have stuff everywhere that you and I need to talk about on this post-market report. Let's start off with this. There's a lot of talk about black swans. Okay, this is a black swan, that's a black swan, blah, 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 blah. Generally, and seriously, these kinds of events are named black swan events for a reason, because no one sees them coming. But here we have something that really surprised me. And I want to talk about what's going on here. So Standard & Poor's, they put out a warning today on corporate debt defaults. Now, you and I, we talk all the time about personal debt, household debt, credit card debt. It's off the Richter scale, getting much, much worse. People getting strangled to death. I've also outlined for all of you for, I don't know how long now, for 10 freaking years, the who our real enemy is, okay? It's the central banks of the world and what they're trying to pull off. Now, when people hear things, for example, like quantitative easing, artificial rate suppression, cash being created out of thin air, all the stuff that we've been living through since the meltdown 2008, what central banks collectively have done none more so than the Federal Reserve to re-prop up an epic bubble in the stock market and a real estate hyper bubble, and creating distortions across the spectrum of asset classes beyond belief. It goes way, 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 way deeper than that. When a central bank artificially suppresses rates, when they get in here and they start creating cash out of nothing to buy it all, it creates, I don't even want to say a ripple effect, because it's a lot worse than that, across everything that has to do with finance. Now, this is an interesting, interesting piece of news here and warning from Standard & Poor's. And this is what they're saying. Corporate debt defaults have soared 80% in 2023. Now, Standard & Poor's is saying that they expect this to continue. Of course, it's going to. But let's talk about the ripple effect here and how there is no way on this earth, off this earth, or anywhere else that the Federal Reserve and other central banks did not see this coming. This has been baked in. It's designed. Okay. You see, here's the deal. We have these central banks here trying to tell us that they're going to correct inflation. They've gone out of their way to create it. The same people that have created the problem, okay, for all of us around the world, are now trying to sell us, well, we can fix it. They can't fix this, and they have no intention of fixing this. So let me try to explain this as simply as I possibly can. When a central bank gets in here and starts artificially suppressing rates and making it very easy to acquire cash, okay, for corporations and stuff like that, what corporations tend to do is take on unnecessary risk. This is by design. Again, suppressed rates cause corporations to take on unnecessary risk. Now, in this kind of a situation, these corporations have sold untold amounts of corporate debt, hoping to be paid back. Now, this is all being defaulted on. So these institutions here, these major corporations who took unnecessary risk because they were able to, on the back of, again, suppressed rates here, and what these institutions do, okay, is they raise capital by selling debt so they can invest in this, that, and the other thing. That's how it works. Now, again, according to Standard & Poor's, and this sounds about right to me, but this number actually took me a little bit by surprise. In fact, a lot of it by surprise. 80% default soaring by 80%. They expect this to carry on. Obviously, this can happen here. So if we understand that these corporations, all of them, we're talking about, the S&P 500, these mega corporations have now taken on unnecessary risk on the back of what the Federal Reserve has done. There's no way they didn't know this was going to happen. Just like inflation, they've gone out of their way, and they're still doing this to create inflation, there's no way they could not have known that this ripple effect was going to occur. So here we have these corporations who have, again, took on unnecessary risk by selling all this debt. Now they're stuck holding the bag here. You understand? What I want to know, and I don't know this, I'm going to be honest with you, if there is some kind of a collateralized debt obligation associated with this, I wouldn't be surprised if there is. And that would mean that banks are on the hook here, which creates an even greater issue for the banks than you and I have been talking about, but for anybody else. You do realize that, right? You and I foretold the problems that was going to have with the regional banks. No loans, no deals. You remember all that? No deposits, no loans, and no deals. And that's not gone away either, in case you don't know. And that's a big deal. So this here issue could be very, very, very big. It could be a black swan because, again, let's think about it. Unnecessary risk. These corporations took on all this risk here, have sold all this debt. They can't get paid for it. Now, again, who's the issuer here? It's supposed to be the corporations here, but I'd be willing to bet that there's a lot of banks involved, and there also may be debt obligations associated with that. In other words, if there's a default, someone's got to pay. Understand? And that's very interesting if you think about it. We'll see how that plays out. But just understand the mechanism behind it. Suppressed yields allow these corporations to take on more risk, which they do. And, look, it's always the same situation. When a central bank gets involved like they do now, when they try to manage the market, they always F it up. And I mean, they F it up in a massive way. Can I say that out here? That's not really a curse, right? Anyway, let's see where this goes. You and I, look, I've been telling people, I don't know, to unbank themselves, disconnect yourself from the current system. The banking system is so toxic right now. It is so full of bad stuff here. I can't even begin to tell you. We've outlined it before. Look, don't keep any cash in these institutions that you don't need to have in there. You understand? We all unfortunately need to participate in their system. That's how it's designed, but only keep what you need in these institutions. I'm talking about mostly the commercial banks who are taking all these big risks here, not so much credit unions, okay? I've covered this before 1 billion times. There's no reason at all to keep excess capital in these institutions, if you have any. Most people have burned through it all already, unfortunately, and I hope that's not any of you. All right, so that's what I wanted to touch on this thing. I want to readdress this issue because I'm telling you, when I read this, like a bell went off in my head. I went, bang. I'm like, this is big. This could be a lot bigger than we're being allowed to know. Again, talking about what we're allowed to know, the FDIC knows how many banks. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of banks that are going to fail. But we're not. It's above our pay grade. It's privileged information. Means some people are allowed to know, but not people like you and me who keep our cash in these institutions. Where's our loving, caring representatives? Oh, they're nowhere. Oh, yes, they're trying to come up with a stopgap measure so we don't shut down the government, so we can finance the Israel war, and we can finance the Ukraine war, and we could hit the Yemen, which we just did yet again here, in case you don't know. Thank you, Wisco. I appreciate that. Anyway, I want to talk about Donald Trump and this, what he's talking about, the central bank digital currencies, kind of following on the coattails of DeSantis, who brought this up, my goodness, early last year. Bravo to DeSantis. And again, I'm going to give Trump some kudos here, but he's missing the point. And he's playing politics, and it's very annoying to me. But we'll cover that in a second. With regard to the economic news today, so housing starts falling in December. Imagine my shock. Factory activity, again, it remains in contraction. It's not going to stop. It's only going to get worse. And I wrote here in my little notes to myself, is Yellen high? Is Yellen high? Yeah, on those magic mushrooms, because I want you to hear what Yellen had to say. Are you ready? The U.S. Treasury Secretary vomitous mass, Janet Yellen, said that the U.S. economy's strong performance is evidence that President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan Act was the right approach. It's bankrupting. We're bankrupt. We're beyond bankrupt. We're the most indebted nation in the history of the world. And it's only going to get worse from here, people. Yeah, so Yellen's high. I already talked about the kicking the can down the road. Let's talk about Donald Trump here, okay? And look, so again, I'm going to give some credit where credit's due, but I want you to listen to what he said. Again, back in early last year, I don't remember what month it was. Maybe some of you do. Liam, thank you. Ron DeSantis got on this about, how negative central bank digital currencies are. He would not allow it to be used in the state of Florida, blah, 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 blah. Okay, lovely. Now Trump's jumped on board because he realizes that's a point where he's got to cover it. But this is what President Trump had to say. So he's promised to ban the creation of central bank digital currencies during his campaign stop in New Hampshire. A lot of you wrote to me about this. And this is what he had to say specifically, and he's correct. Are you ready? This would be a dangerous threat to freedom. Absolutely. I think we're all on the same page. And he goes, I will stop it from coming to America. He continued, such a currency would give the Federal Reserve government, the federal government, which he actually means the Federal Reserve. He can't tell you that, though. So absolute control over your money. So what else is missing here? Besides him saying give the federal government, which he really means the Federal Reserve, because they control the monetary system. He can't say it. Again, that's a lie by omission. He should have said what is on his mind. But what's missing here? What's missing here is central bank digital currency or not, okay? What the man should have said was we need to take back the financial system from this private institution known as the Federal freaking Reserve. No more federal than Federal Express. We cannot be a free people anywhere in the world, okay? We're talking about here in America right now, but anywhere, unless we have a sound money system. If we are forced to live under the rulership of a central bank, for which he's calling federal government, which is a lie, okay? He knows what's going on here. He's not that stupid. Maybe he is. I don't know. It depends on your perspective. He won't say it. Again, he's going to play this up, politics. Oh, yes, no digital currency. Like any president has the power to do that. He can't tell you that either. It's not true. Doesn't have the power. No president does. No act of anything. Central banks are sovereign entities. They run the show. They will do what they want when they want. And they're going to have people beg for it. You understand? You know where this is going, of course. Okay. They're dismantling the current system. It's coming apart at the seams. Okay, and it's going to get a lot worse here. They're going to bring the system down. I really think that we're going to see more of this in 24, and then it's really going to come down in 25. That doesn't mean the stock market's going to crash in 24 because it ain't, in my opinion. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. But anyway, so what's missing here is again, look. I know there's a lot of people that love this guy, Donald Trump, and a lot of people that hate this guy. It doesn't matter who sits behind the Resolute desk. In my opinion, it really doesn't. It's all a show on an epic scale. But this is the same guy, let's remember, that was calling for a weaker dollar, that was calling for negative rates. All that does is make the Federal Reserve stronger. Okay, nothing in the world could get a central banker off better than hearing a president, a United States president, talk about negative rates. They must have been, spraying their shorts, running in circles around, the Federal Reserve, all of them. But that's just the way it is here. So again, without a sound money, we will lose. You understand? Unless we can take back our system. And I don't understand why we can't do this. The Federal Reserve is already in technical default across the board. The Federal Reserve has two mandates. Number one is price stability. Do you think we have price stability right now? So that if they have a mandate of price stability and they failed miserably on that, that alone is a reason that we could take back the system. And number two is full employment. And we got this nonsensical number. I'm not even going to talk about it today. It's all fake. And we know it's fake because the BLS told us all that that is fake 2 weeks ago. Remember all that again? We found that, guess what? The jobs numbers were fake in the whole freaking year. They were not real. Make this stuff up. You can make it up. You can't make it up. It's impossible to do. Anyway, that's that whole thing. Stop putting your faith We don't have a dictatorship, or we don't have a king. We're not supposed to. This is supposed to be a people who can govern themselves, but we've given up all our freedoms and our liberties, and there's more people doing it. Okay, they want to be taken care of from cradle to grave. The Fed's dismantling the system and creating dependency on it by design. We've outlined this for how long? I don't know. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. And no one person is going to save you. Ain't happening, people. Wake the freak up. Okay, honestly. Anyway, so let's go back to this market today. 10-year yield not looking good to me. All right, we had 4.15 on the 10-year yield. Look, it's not rattling me. I'm telling you right here and right now that it's not rattling me. The market is trying to price in. It is right now wide scale war. And you're going to see some pretty freaking crazy moves with regard to the debt market and with regard to the dollar as the market prices that in, because that's where we're going here. Again, we just hit Yemen yet again. Okay. The U.S. and its coalitions, because they're trying to save the world. You know they are, because they're telling you that. It's not going to stop. It's just going to go on and on and on and on. And this whole system is going down, and I mean down. Now, with regard to the 10-year yield, again, this should raise your eyebrows, because that type of a move in just a short period of time is very interesting. Okay. Secondarily, you got to look over at the dollar. You all know this. The Dixie here above 103. I don't think this is going to last. I really don't. The market is being promised more easy money, and I think it's going to happen. In fact, I know it is. Okay, that's where we're going. This is a selection year. They got to string people along. They need to believe that the stock market is doing so fantastic. So is our economy, like Janet Yellen says it is. It's unbelievable. I mean, look at her wording here. It's a thing. It's a creature. It's, again, there's no accountability. The U.S. economy's strong performance. Really? Honestly, layoffs, tens of thousands of people being laid off here, debt skyrocketing beyond their lead. People can't make ends meet, borrowing just to do so. You gotta be kidding me. But that's what we're seeing here. The creation of a neo-feudal system, as you and I have outlined for 10 freaking years. 10 years. Longer than that. I don't know. I've been out here a long time now with all of you. It's really the truth. That's kind of where we stand today. Now, look, I said I wasn't going to address this, but we're going to do it one more time. I am sick and tired, people, of hearing about the fall that Bitcoin has taken. Yes, duh. How many people that have been with me knew this was coming? Everybody. Okay. I was out there telling people, sell the news, get out of it now. Okay. People, I got people writing to me and probably people commenting here. All right. About Bitcoin's fall. It's at 40,000-ish, something like that, from like $9,000 since its debut here, when Wall Street is getting its grip on this stuff more so than before. I hate this. I really, really do. But this was so easy to see. Anyone with half a functioning brain knew this was going to happen, because I told all of you it was going to happen. It clearly was FOMO, sell the news, blah, blah, blah. But look, I don't care if you bought it 49,000. It's not the bottom. I don't care. Okay. I already told you at the end of last year that we were going to see extreme volatility in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And look, this space is not for everybody. I'm telling you right now. And nobody's saying you have to love this stuff either. I frankly believe that people need to have some of this in their portfolio, just a little bit of exposure, just some. I believe that's true. I own it, and I'm telling you what I do. Okay, I own Bitcoin. I own about, I don't know, 5 or 6 other ones, whatever they are. If you want, I'll make a list and I'll send them to you. Carlos, thank you, buddy. Anyway, but look, the issue with cryptocurrencies here, the big misnomer, okay? These are not generally used for transactions, okay? People generally buy this stuff and they hold on to it. That's what they do. Completely different from the central bank digital currency, which is eventually, no matter what Trump says or DeSantis is going to fall on all of us. Again, the system was already 99% digital. You realize that? There's like $1.5 trillion actual dollars on the planet. The rest of it is all just, digits on a screen. It doesn't exist. It's not on the elemental chart. Understand? Oh, but you're not supposed to know that. Yeah, I forgot. DeSantis won't tell you that. Trump won't tell you that either, but Greg Mannarino will. And if you don't believe me, look it up for yourself. Google it. How many dollars actually exist or are in circulation? Cocoa coins. I love that. Cocoa is eating. I'm going to break them out soon. I promise. I will. I really will. I really, really will. But anyway, so this is no surprise with regard to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. It's going to be a wild ride this year, especially now with this spot ETF. Anyway, that's my take on it, people. And with this market, again, the game remains risk on. Look at the market today. Despite the fact that the 10-year yield really put on an eye-opening gain. Old combat bet. Thank you, bro. It's the beast of central banks. Yeah, the whole system is perverted beyond belief. It's been that way. It's the greed of man. Okay, people aren't happy unless they're sucking someone else dry here. Okay, people are inherently born good. I believe that, and then they get the world twists their mind and greed takes over. Unfortunately, and it always ends bad for these people. You have to understand that. You need an example. Look at Bernie Madoff. I could go on and on with this. It never ends well. And there's nothing wrong with taking a situation and making it work for you. But when you have to rob other people blind to do it, like the current system is doing, and you have corruption, this is the fall of an empire. Every empire falls the same way. And you can see how they're setting up war, expansion of war. They're going to blame everything on that. You and I have been talking about this for how freaking long. That's what they're going to do. Oh, it's the war. Oh, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. Anyway, look, again, going back to this whole central bank digital currency nonsense, we lose no matter what because we still have to live under the rulership of a central bank. Without a sound money system, we cannot be free. You understand? We cannot be free. But Trump ain't going to tell you that. DeSantis ain't going to tell you that. None of these freaks are going to tell you that. No. Because you see, they got to protect the 1% and 2%ers. And remember what Donald Trump said, that the stock market going higher only helps the rich. You see, a little bit of truth gets out there once in a while. Obviously, it's the rich that own the bulk, and I mean bulk of this market. Okay, but it's a game. It's an illusion, people, and we're all living in some kind of like twisted reality. With that all said, my lovely friends, gold and silver put on a gain today. Crude oil did pretty well. Again, more bombs and missiles. The market's going to understand this is pricing in more war, widespread war. And I think we're pretty much on the same page with all that. I hope you got something out of this. I wanted to make sure I just covered everything I wanted. I got all this nonsense all over the place. I'm pretty sure we're right there. Anyway, I'm so disappointed. Let me tell you why I'm disappointed. I was really hoping to get my car to the track today, but it is freaking raining. I haven't raced this thing in over 2 weeks. I'm just starting to get it dialed in. I had the whole thing set up wrong. I've told you already. Look, I'm old, man. I set up the car old school for old style drag slicks, and it's not what's on the car. It has a radial drag slick on, a totally different animal, totally different suspension setup. That's why I couldn't get that damn thing to hook for nothing. And it was driving me crazy. But I ran into a guy a few weeks ago who runs a pro car, a Copo Camaro like mine, but he runs the pro circuit. And he was telling me, dude, you got this car set up wrong. And I can't believe I forgot the gentleman's name, but it was the crew chief actually came over to me, and he gave me some really good tips. Look, I'm just so thankful for all of you and for guys like that for pointing stuff out to me, because I'm not too old to learn a new trick or two, honestly. And we're in this together. This is a team effort. All of us here, we got each other's backs, and we will never let each other down. Now, before I let you go, what specifically do you guys and girls want us to cover? Want me or all of us here? What do you want us to cover? Anything specific before I let you go for the weekend? Anything going once? Going twice? Darren, yes, dude, 100% that is going on. I've been telling, look at the title of some of my videos. There are bank runs going on right now. People aren't supposed to know that. This is a big reason why the FDIC isn't letting people know what's going on. You don't see them, but people are pulling their cash out of these institutions faster than ever. This goes back to what you and I have been talking about, which feels like time immemorial. No deposits, no loans, and no deals. The banking system is in all kinds of trouble. And this issue here from Standard & Poor's is huge. It's huge. There is no way that there is not some big banks involved here that don't have exposure, especially because I don't know this for a fact, but I'm willing to bet that there is some kind of a collateralized debt obligation associated with this. And that means that someone else is going to pay. And who knows what that's a black hole, black swan, like I spoke about. We'll see. I can't wait to see how things develop. You know what I mean? We throw these little things out, you and me, and then we get to see how it plays out. So interesting. It really is. You know, we're not going to be right all the time. It's an impossibility. But you and I have been right so many more times than we've been wrong. It's just frankly incredible. Yes, lava. Look at lava. People, everybody here right now, if you are not subscribed to Lava News, you're going to do it right now. Or you're going to piss me off. Okay, I want you to do this. She's worked so hard for all of you. She's fantastic, way better than me. There's no comparison. Turn me off. Learn more stuff from her. She's way better than me. But yes, absolutely, that's true. There's so much stuff going on here, and thank you, Lava, for keeping everybody on top. Thank everybody here, all my friends here, Perry, Magic, Mika. Where's Lord Humongous? We just sang this guy happy birthday, and he abandons us, dude. Alan Greenspan's here. Joey Socks. Fatal 9998. I love all of you people. Carly, you guys and girls are so fantastic. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you, love all of you from my heart. You're so important to me. Thank you for your friendship and your support and everything else. And thank you for those thumbs up. It looks like we might hit 800. I really hope we can, people. At least, please, if you get something out of these videos, please give it a thumbs up. Share this stuff. Get it out there. Let people see what's going on and hear this stuff. Where are they going to find out about this stuff? I don't think anywhere else. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't follow anybody. I follow all of you, and you guys educate me, and that's the truth. All right, look. That's pretty much it. I'll see you tomorrow morning, which is lovely. It's going to be Friday. We're going to get through another week. I'm almost thinking today's Friday. The whole week feels off to me. Anyway, see you in the morning, all right? Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.